Only in America.
It's all good fun, isn't it? Joining us now, the man with the world's fastest sperm, Tristan Milker, and the guy who came second, Asher Proge. Good morning, guys. Good morning. First of all, I should say congratulations, Tristan. How does it feel to be the champion?
Thank you. I mean, I feel amazing. It's a record that nobody else has ever held before, so I'm proud to wear that on my belt. It's going to be a great thing to put on my resume.
And Asher, commiserations. Sadly, your sperm just wasn't up to it in the end.
Sadly, it was not. I think I need to do more training, take it more serious, you know, maybe rework my approach, but...
OK, so tell me something. How were you two selected to represent?
Yeah, I can start. So there was a man named Dick Gay, which is a leader of the company. He's kind of a person that was putting forward the efforts to, you know, get everybody to this event and with marketing and everything. He came to my door and he knocked and he asked me if I wanted to be a sperm racing athlete. And I thought he was insane. Yeah. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was a joke. But I did a little bit more research and I talked to him a little further and found out about the rapidly declining fertility rates, not in just America, but worldwide. And I realized it's a real issue that we need to talk about. And I wanted to better myself. So I inhabited a lot of really great new habits for myself. I started eating a lot better. I started taking care of myself more. And, you know, it worked out well for me.
So I mean, there is a very serious point behind this, but of course it makes for thoroughly entertaining viewing and hearing all about it. Asher, I mean, what was your reaction when you were approached, and how did you get into shape for the big race?
So my experience was similar. I had the same man come up. He's dressed in a suit, might I add, and he's like 6'7", which makes it even more intimidating and funny. But he came and he offered me a challenge, and it basically was... I'll just say it was a challenge, all right. And if I could complete the challenge, I was allowed to be the sperm racer because it showed I was really on fire and I wanted to be a sperm racer. So I thought it was insane, but he said he would Venmo me money right away. I did the challenge. He Venmoed me the money and I realized it was legit. So then I joined and I started getting in shape in more of a, you know, I started taking supplements and stuff. But other than that, I already was working out, eating clean, making sure I got to bed on time, all that. So I didn't change all that much, but I did definitely start taking supplements I hadn't before.
So what you're saying is this actually is a professional sport because you both got paid money to donate and to take part in the race, didn't you, Tristan?
Yeah, we got money every single week in order to enhance our biometers. So that means, you know, buying correct foods that are rich in zinc, antioxidants, you know, going to the gym every single day. I got a dietitian by my side. I had personal trainers. This is a real professional sport, and I know it sounds very silly, especially to people that haven't heard about it. You know, I've become a little bit desensitized to it, but it is a real thing that you can train for. The more healthy you are, the more healthy your sperm is.
And what about, can we just talk, well, two things. What was it like watching your sperm race? Because we're watching this, they've sort of AI'd it up a bit, haven't they? They've gamified what actually was happening to make it more engaging to watch. But what was that like, Asher, for you guys, watching the sperms race along that track?
Well, I'll say for me, it was very terrifying after that first one because I was like, am I about to get slimed? Like, am I about to get covered in this $2,000 racing suit I just got? But we didn't know exactly what it would look like. So it was very, you know, we didn't know who would win, obviously. It was completely real. We don't know what it looked like. So when they came really close and then tied and his barely beat mine, that was intense, I will say. But yeah, it was basically a live rendering of the actual sperm positioning on a racetrack. And then they took that data and transmade it in through like Unity or through Unreal Engine or whatever. And that's where we see the animation.
I mean, I love the two of you eyeballing each other at the same time and the drama of it. What's the prize you win? Do you win, is it just bragging rights, essentially, or do you win a prize?
I mean, I get to brag all day long to my school, but I also won $10,000.
Wow.
$10,000?
Well, look, congratulations to the two of you. You've properly entered into the spirit of it, which is hugely important, and it is a bigger subject as well. And we thoroughly enjoyed meeting you both. Best of luck for next year, Asher. Maybe if you put a bit more hard work in, your sperms might be up to it.
Hopefully. That is entirely the goal. We want to make this a sport, so we're going to have tons more races. We don't know exactly when the next one is, but I will be training hard. hopefully they'll let me compete again. I don't know what Tristan's future holds, but his is probably bright as well.
Well, unquestionably, he's got super fast sperm. It's very bright.
Yeah.
Thank you both for joining us. We're in the studio now, joined by Britain's foremost authority on men's fertility, urologist Jonathan Ramsay. Jonathan, thank you for joining us. I mean, it's thoroughly entertaining for us to talk about, to laugh about the nature of this, but there is a really serious point to what they've done, isn't there?
Well, there is, and I think they're to be congratulated for actually doing it, because men are typically reluctant even to talk about their fertility, let alone to enter into a sperm race. So I think these two guys are to be congratulated, and they've brought awareness, because awareness is really the first stage of trying to correct something that may not be quite right.
And fertility rates have dropped. Why is that?
Well, they have, and there's been a huge amount of scientific argument. And like many scientific arguments, there are the protagonists and the antagonists. The more famous you are, the more likely you are to take a didactic stand. But I think we can probably all agree at this stage, after a great deal of research, that sperm counts are declining worldwide. Now, whether this actually impacts on fertility rates is a separate and consequential argument.
There are some myths about this as well. It was interesting hearing Tristan and Asha talk about the fact that they didn't really understand that there was lots of things that they could do to improve the speed and the robust nature of their sperm. But can we run through some of these myths and you can either bust them or explain why they exist? Is that all right? OK, firstly, alcohol. If you consume more than 14 units a week spread across 3 days or more, that will affect your sperm.
I think we can say yes.
That is true.
And there is a linear relationship. So the greater the intake, the more the effect.
Men who've had children remain fertile forever.
Oh, that's certainly a myth.
Really?
I think we, the blokes, Ben and I and the boys, should start thinking that probably biologically it's not dissimilar from women.
Right.
So from our late 30s onwards, we may be becoming less fertile, because it's not only the sperm that wins the race, but the quality of that sperm.
Yep.
What happens to him when he's say won the race?
Yep.
Is he going to produce a decent embryo and offspring?
Yeah.
What about stress? Stress can ruin your sperm.
Crikey, that's a difficult one, because it's so difficult to measure stress itself and then to relate that to a variable biological phenomenon, which is a sperm count.
Yes.
But if you ask me what I think, it would be unlikely if it didn't, because all those stressor hormones are not great.
This is an old wives' tale, but I do know plenty of friends who've actually done this.
Tried it.
You're more likely to get pregnant if you conceive with your legs in the air.
Oh, that's a wonderful one. Myth, certainly a myth. I mean, what that sperm race actually showed was that these little chaps move very quickly along a pretty short trajectory, which is in nature from the top of the vagina to meet the egg as it crosses the fallopian tube. So actually, these little chaps get on with it fast, and where your legs are won't make any difference.
Did it work for your friends?
Some did, but again, it's just probability.
It was worth trying.
Yeah.
And one last one. Boy sperm and girl sperm swim at different speeds.
So behind that is whether you get more or less boys or girls, depending upon what you do. In nature, biologically, that doesn't seem to make any difference. You get the same number of boy babies as you get girl babies. If you do something in the lab, though, you might be able to detect a difference in how they move.
You spin it or something.
Well, the girl ones might be a bit heavier.
Ah.
Yeah, because the X chromosome is a bit bigger than the Y.
Right. Okay.
Of course.
I could chat to you.
I thought it was that the girls swam a lot faster, but they tired out longer, and the boys would. So it was more of a marathon for the boys, and so if the girls sort of eventually sort of got tired, the boys would get there to the end.
Like the Joel Dommett. Is that what you mean?
I'm not sure you just compared Joel Dommett. That's one character we haven't seen on the Marked Singer yet, isn't it?
That X chromosome, it's in control.
Yeah, always. Jonathan, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jonathan. It was lovely to chat to you.
As fun as that has been, it is a really serious subject, and I'm glad we could talk about it.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.